Hello and welcome to GameRomp Easy Mode, a chill, easygoing podcast about video games and random stuff. I'm one of your hosts, Deanna.
And I'm David.
So David, what do you have to share with us this week?
Well, I've been curious about one thing. I saw that you were playing Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So what drove you to want to give it a go after we had beat it together?
I don't know, I guess just watching you do all that and then thinking of how would I have done things differently, I guess, or maybe different types of characters, or the fact that I guess you were kind of so into getting through the game quickly just for the story aspect.
Yeah.
But then there were all the different classes that you didn't get to, and I'm not I know how I work with video games. I'm probably not going to get down to those classes either, but I don't know. Just the idea of taking these characters and playing with them almost like dolls, I guess, in a way of oh, can I see if I can figure out how to do tactics stuff? Because that's not exactly my forte. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Just playing around with that, with the fighting and seeing if I could be as good as you and what I would set up, or I don't know. I'm so bad at explaining this. I don't know. I just want to play with the characters like dolls, whatever.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's kind of half of the appeal of the game is building up the characters and playing around with the classes and figuring out what are some fun combos to do with the classes.
But also another thing that I did that I don't think you ever did, because we were trying to stream it at the same time, so it wouldn't have been super great to watch. But I went through all the menu items and was reading all the description of the different characters and the different parts of this world, and reading basically everything of info that they give the player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm slowly able to connect more of the dots than the first time through the story, which I guess makes sense because it's
definitely
all coming at you super quick.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember people's names, which they're all fantasy names, so they're a bit difficult to some degree, and still trying to figure out the lands, and okay, Ivalice is in debt because of some war thing, and who caused the war, and what was it over, and
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory that isn't super important. I mean,
I guess not, but it just feels good to read through it and for at least 5 minutes for me understand what's going on.
yeah, I know the general gist of it, and even the king, I think, is Andoria or something. I don't even remember his name, and he's not even.
It starts with an O, and he's super sick and frail and sucks at governing. So it's the queen who's taking care of everything, basically.
Yeah, so it's all that's kind of just set up for what's happening. I mean, I wonder if they could make a prequel. Not that they ever would, but a prequel to explore more of that era of Ivalice.
Yeah, the 50 Years War, because that had just finished, I guess, recently.
Yeah, but I guess making a prequel is kind of tough because you kind of know what happens, and I don't know. I guess Andor did it, but Andor's another series that's really good about that kind of stuff, where it's all these people talking, and it's I don't know, the politics of everything. But yeah, I saw you playing through that, and I will say though, you're saying that I was good at it, but I think it's just, especially later on, a chapter 3 or 4, maybe even 2, when you're really unlocking a lot of the combos that you can do. In the beginning of the game, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
You just don't have access to a lot of the stuff, and even if you grinded and went crazy and unlocked, for example, Ninja, they're not going to be able to do anything because you don't even have access to their equipment at this point.
Yeah, I know it was a little tricky because I hadn't even unlocked White Mage or Black Mage, which I haven't made a Black Mage yet. But just having to work through these fights with only, I keep wanting to call them merchants. What are the...
Chemist?
The chemists.
With the items, the potions and stuff.
Yeah, and trying to heal with them is not super great. And then I started, I forget which one of my guys, I guess, yeah, he was the chemist. And I started teaching him some of the white magic stuff that I had finally unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, as a chemist, he only has so much MP. So I was going through and I was like, he can do 2 heals and then he runs out. And I'm like, duh, how do I get more MP? And then eventually I realized, oh, I had finally unlocked the white mage. So I immediately turned him into that. And oh, wow, suddenly he has like 50 plus MP that he can actually use.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's like, duh, no shit.
That's the thing too about it. Like it can be fun to like multi-class and like, oh, this guy can use white magic or whatever. But then you have to remember like, oh, are they geared to have enough like magical endurance to cast many spells? Like even when I would do Ramza as like, or even I think David for a while was doing like a little bit of off white magic. It was mostly there just for like maybe a cure, maybe more likely a revive. It's never like they weren't going to be the dedicated healer like a white mage would be.
Yeah, but it's hard because if you only have white mage at the time, you're kind of... You can't get the white mage all over the map, even though they're pretty small maps.
Yeah.
To heal and take care of everyone. So you're like, well, maybe I can give this person at least the ability to use potions or what is it, like the eye drops or something when, you know, the white mage can't get over there quick enough.
Yeah.
So everyone has a little bit of, well, they can do this thing and this person who's a warrior can still technically use a potion for themselves or something.
Yeah. And it's like when other people are using items, they can't like throw them like the chemist can.
Yeah, that's true.
But then it's like, I guess early on, chemists are pretty useful because of, potions and high potions, like 30 and 70 HP.
And just chucking them.
Is still kind of useful in the early game. But later on, when everyone has like 300, 400 HPs, like, yeah, that stuff falls off pretty hard.
Although, oddly enough, it would be kind of helpful if someone who had leveled up, I almost said grown up, as a chemist, that if they went to white mage or something, I guess it's because the white mage healing obviously is going to go over a wider area. But maybe like you make a chemist and then make him into something that's not a white mage. If they could just keep the throwing skill, that would be kind of handy. But maybe that would be...
You can learn throw item in the chemistry.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, it's a passive.
I guess I don't remember seeing that then.
But then you would be, losing out on other passives you could use. Like the Squire's JP up is so useful.
Oh yeah, I put that on most of my people.
So it's like it's a real balance of like who's gonna use what, and even chemists later when like I don't know how far into the game it was, maybe chapter 2. You eventually find the town that sells guns. Chemists can just use guns, so that makes them a lot more useful too.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
But again, that's not for a long time. So in the early game, chemists are kind of not super good, but
it's a little rough around the edges. But then again, like so is everyone else.
Yeah, it's tough because like you get more options the later on, and so in the beginning, it's like, what may be good for chapter 1 might not be so good in chapter 2 and vice versa, etc. But yeah, I mean, and also like I guess you just want to play it on normal, but like there is like an easy and a hard mode.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for normal at first because I don't know, I guess I know I can't handle hard mode clearly, but I was kind of hoping like, oh, maybe I could learn tactics enough that I would survive normal at least without having to go on easy mode or something.
I will say, I think early on it's a lot harder, except with the rare exception of like when you're fighting like the bosses that use crazy moves that just like can 100% stone you or whatever.
I mean, on the plus side too is that I can play on normal, and even if I lose fights and have to restart and redo and all this stuff, I've already seen the story, so I'm not like trying to get through the story.
Yeah, fair.
I can take as long as I need.
Are you still playing in Japanese?
No, I switched that pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's fair. The voice acting, they did a really good job.
Well, not only is the voice acting really good and adds to it, and yeah, it's because probably it comes off as watching a play somehow. I don't know if it's because of the language or the voice acting or what have you. But yeah, I usually don't mind using Japanese voices, and I'm not saying like the Japanese voices weren't good, they were. It was just maybe because I have to like try and translate this old English style into something I can more easily like comprehend, I guess.
Yeah.
And then also listening to Japanese and then trying to translate the words that I actually know, it's a little bit too much. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll just stay with English. It's fine.
So how far are you?
I finally got past the daughter checkpoint, if you will, the like skill checkpoint, and I had to grind a couple of extra for that. I went to the one that
They're like in a little house.
yeah, the one where you had a black mage who set fire to everything and worked out well. I didn't
Yeah.
have a black mage, and I think I lost one of my guys.
Yeah, I remember the
So I have
first.
to restart a whole new character to take over his role. So, oof.
I remember the first time we played through that level. I had gone in with like without the black mage, I did not end up well. So I ended up restarting, and that's when I'm like, okay, I'm bringing in a black mage. I think Argus was tanking in the doorway or something, and like they couldn't get past him, so my black mage was just on the outside, like hitting them with an AOE.
Yeah, like, what if we just set the house on fire? That takes care of a lot of them.
So yeah, that's also part of it. Like maybe you try one thing, is like this did not work, and then you go back and like I'm doing this time, and there's a lot of missions where it's like it's just gonna take 2 tries.
But then it's also tricky because then you can only use up to like what a max of 6 in certain battles. So it's like I'm trying to, I don't know, maybe it's too much focusing on just the 5 characters, and maybe I should have more. I don't know.
I mean, I got to the point where I had too many characters, and a lot of them were falling behind. So I think what most people do is, less is more, especially later when you start getting like really good characters.
But then it sucks when you lose one of your characters and you're like, ah, fuck, now I gotta raise a whole new character.
See, I think most people don't. If somebody is lost, you just restart, because like it's just, this isn't Fire Emblem. I mean, I guess you kind of are getting replacements later on, but like it just takes so long to get a character up to, with job points more than anything, to get them up to where they were before, that replacing them, especially later on, is just not worth it.
Yeah, I suppose.
So I'd say if you lost one now and you just want to continue, that's fine. But in the future, I would just restart.
I mean, I did a couple of times. I guess I had just gotten so sick of it. I'm like, ah, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, ultimately, like, especially later on, you're going to have more characters than you can even use.
Also, I think one other quick thing was that, yeah, I saw his hearts were going down over time, but I'm like, oh, if we have like a sliver of health on one enemy and a sliver of health on the other one, I should be able to finish these 2 off. But clearly no.
Yeah. I mean,
And then like right after he died, we killed the other one and it was finished. I'm like, ah, fungu.
yeah, that's fair. It's tough too, because like, yeah, you run into that as like, oh, am I gonna be able to revive them in time, or maybe I can just kill this guy, and then like you're going for it and they like block or something, and it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, so. Oh well, it's this is how you learn how to play the game, I guess.
Yeah, there's also autosaves you could abuse if you really needed to, but
Maybe down the road, but not yet.
I know like in Fire Emblem, especially modern Fire Emblem games, they have the it's kind of like a turn clock thing where you could just like undo certain amounts of turns, and just it saves so much headache and time. Like, because when I played the original, well, the first Fire Emblem that they brought over to the West, it's like it has permadeath, and like you're going through a map and like, I don't know, maybe you're 20 minutes in and somebody dies, and it's like, oh god, am I going to do all this over again, or am I going to restart? Because like it's tough. But anyways, it's been interesting to see you play through it and see what character combos you might decide to try. That is one thing I liked about this. I forget if we talked about it on the podcast or if we were just having a conversation ourselves. One thing I kind of don't like about the Tactics Advance games is like the other races.
I like the races, but whatever.
Like in this one, the humans can be just everything. But then like
Well, yeah, because they're the only things that exist in here.
But then in the other games, like then you have like your classes that are all broken up into 4 different like subcategories, and then like you can't really combo as much.
I mean, I guess that's fair in the sense I can see the different races having different affinities for things.
Like I think in Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, humans can become like paladins, but they can't become summoners.
I don't remember exactly what they can and cannot be, but probably.
Or red mages. Then again, there's no red mages in Tactics, but like
Apparently someone made red and blue in mods, but yeah.
really, I've seen one for blue mages. I haven't seen one for red. That'd be great.
At least I think I saw both.
But yeah, like stuff like that. Like, oh, one of my go-to characters ended up being Beowulf, and he's like a spell sword, and he's a knight, so he has like high HP and like he's tanky. So I made him his second class summoner, and like it paired up really well because like whenever he summoned Golem, it put up like a really massive shield because Beowulf had a ton of HP as a knight. It's like those fun combos. Like you just have more options in this game than you do in the other ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's absolutely fair. And it would be interesting, like, to add the races, but then yeah, every race can be whatever they want, but maybe one race has more like magical affinity or something.
Yeah, I think I forget what they're called. The weird like
Hippo people?
yeah, they are like very magically in tuned, and then the Bongo are very physical.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
They kind of do this in Final Fantasy Tactics, where like I think the male characters have slightly higher physical attack, and the female characters have slightly higher magical attack.
That's usually how it seems to go, yeah.
Except Ramza. Ramza's just like good at both. So that's kind of annoying, but whatever. And yeah, there was definitely some classes I didn't even play with, like Mime. I didn't even unlock Mime.
Yeah, and I'm not saying I'd play the game long enough to even unlock Mime, but I was reading through all the descriptions of like, oh, these classes can use these tools or armor or whatnot, and these classes can't. And Mime is like, I didn't see exactly what Mimes can and cannot use, but I remember certain things like Mimes can't use shoes or something, or Mimes can't use weapons or whatever, and it was like, these classes can't use this, Mime. These classes can't use this, Mime. And it's like, what the fuck, are Mimes just naked people running around screaming? Like, it's fucking bonkers.
Yeah, I don't...
Like, I don't know what Mimes they're playing off of, but the Mimes I know, or at least in, like, culture aspects, they can wear clothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how Mimes work in this. I just know that, like... I know how their ability works, but I don't know, like, their equipment and stuff. And it just takes so much to unlock them anyways. And even, like, this time I unlocked Dancer, because I figured I'd play around with it. I didn't do anything with Bard, because I felt like Dancer is more useful, because Dancer, like, can hit every enemy at once. Like, they miss a lot, but, like...
They have a chance.
Whereas Bard, like, they target your own characters. Which I guess could also be good, but then, like, they're giving you buffs, and it kind of depends, like, do I need them to buff everyone's magic attack or physical attack when half my party isn't using that stuff? I don't know. I'm sure there's some useful, fun things you could do with Bard, but
I forget to ask this. Are females only dancers and males only bards? Or
yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah.
They should have male dancers. That'd be funny. They just strut around like the Chippendales. Because, like, why wouldn't a female be able to be a bard? I mean, there's female singers all the time, or, you know, ladies that can do instruments. That one really doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what they decided.
I'm tired.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So let's move on. I saw you were playing some kind of new demo game thing.
Oh, sure, I can talk about that. I have been playing a lot of that Chaos Zero Nightmare, and I'm like, okay, I should play some other things too, so I have other stuff to talk about.
Yay.
I had played a bunch of demos, and I wrote about them, so I could, like, always go back and talk about it. This is one of those games. So it's called Lost Eidolon's Veil of the Witch. Basically, you can think of it as like a Fire Emblem roguelike. As far as the story goes, I guess I could do a brief mention of the story, but, like, you pick between your main character. You can either be a lady or a dude, and it doesn't really seem to matter. And, like, they have their backstory, but something happens, and I think I forget if they die in the beginning or, like, after your first mission, but at some point you end up dead, and, like, this, I guess, the witch, I don't really know what she is. I mean, I'm still early in the story, obviously. They revive you and your party, and, like, you're basically, with that kind of premise...
Are you in her debt?
She has her own goals, and some of the party members, like, don't trust her. And they say, like, we should not be trusting her, like, this is a trap, blah, blah, blah. But, like, well, it's either you do that or you're dead. Because, like, she's the one that brought you back to life. But that's like the premise of the story, and I mean, it's kind of hard to say what the story is when I have played so little of it. Basically, in the demo, I've done one run and like a half.
Oh, so you were really early in this.
I mean, it is a demo.
It's true, but even
And
in the
like,
demo.
you got to remember that because it's kind of like a Fire Emblem game, each battle takes kind of, it can take a while.
Fair.
So imagine like, you're playing a roguelike and you go each stage you have like it's usually either 2 or 3 options to go like one way or the other, and it's like, oh, this path has like potential to earn money, or this path has loot, or this path has an event, or this path is random. So you're basically choosing where you're going, and like sometimes there'll be battles as well, and some of the battles are like, oh, just simple kill all the enemies. Sometimes it's like, oh, we got to run away to this spot and like you have to escape. Sometimes it's like, oh, you have to defeat this one person, or they're guarding a treasure and you want to get it. There's like all sorts of different like scenarios. And yeah, it's Fire Emblem basically. They even kind of have like a weapon triangle, except it's more like an armor triangle in the sense that like some people are wearing heavy armor. So their weakness is big heavy weapons like great axes or blunt stuff like that. Some people have like leather armor. Their weakness is like slashing weapons. And some people are wearing like cloth, like the mages, right? Their weakness is like spears and arrows.
Weird. I would kind of almost assume the opposite. Like, I feel like leather is good against slashing weapons. Or if they're wearing heavy armor, I guess bludgeoning weapons would make sense, but like sharp, even axes, I guess axes are like half and half.
Yeah, because they're big, massive, and heavy.
But I feel like magic would work better against those with heavy armor.
Magic works good against anybody.
Oh, okay. Well.
I mean, yeah, it's just really good.
And then any weapon should be pretty good against cloth, so like, what the hell?
Yeah, when I say like a weapon triangle, it's not like the other ones are bad. It's just that like the spears are going to do extra damage.
Oh, okay.
The really neat thing about this that I like though is, okay, right now I have 5 characters, I think. I can see in the little section below in the UI that there's like I think 4 or 5 more, but they're like they aren't in the demo. And each character has like their own story, their own name, and like these aren't created characters like Final Fantasy Tactics. Well, they're like the uniques, I guess. And they have their own specialization. Like your main character uses like a great sword, and her second weapon is a bow. Then you meet this girl who uses like a sword and a shield, and then her second weapon is like a holy spell, so she can do like healing or holy attacks, right? Then another guy's like he uses a big old axe, or he can use a sword or a spear and a shield. So they always have like 2 different things that they can use, and they can switch between them at any time.
That's cool.
Going with all that, like you can like help to figure out who I'm going to use these guys to target, like the different enemies or whatever. And some of the weapons have different abilities. Like, for example, obviously the bow and arrows are ranged. The spear can like hit from 1 extra range away too. The axes are kind of neat because they're big sweeping weapons. They can actually hit from like not an extra space away, but like diagonal.
Yeah, okay. That like the first 3 in front of you.
Basically they can hit any of the 8 spaces around them. Like imagine like the 9 spaces. They're in the middle. They can hit any of the, either directly in front and side of them like a sword can, but also like diagonally.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's almost like a spear, except that it can go, instead of like 1 extra forward, it can go diagonally. So that's also kind of nice because like some people can't counterattack that. So that's all that kind of stuff, the Fire Emblem thing where everyone moves and then like the enemy gets a turn and like whatever. But what's really neat is because it's kind of like a roguelike, you're also like upgrading your character as they go. Now in Fire Emblem, when you level up, it's usually that you just get like random stats. In this, whenever you level up, I think it cycles back and forth between you get to pick 2 different, or 1 of 2 skills, and then like after you level up again, you get to pick 1 of 2 like stat ups, and then when you level up again, another 1 of 2 skills. So like the skills can be something like, for example, for my main character, one of them was like, oh, mage, I forget what they called it, but like a mage slayer skill. Like if you pick this, it gives you a special attack that when you hit an enemy, it lowers their magic attack. Or a different skill could have been like more of a defensive stance where like they can counterattack harder or something, or whatever the case. Usually, so when you're leveling up, you get to pick different skills. So every time you run through a different run, you can have like a different build. Because if you die, and you will die, you basically have to start again from like level 1.
Well, yeah, because it's usually how roguelikes
Yeah.
work.
So like you're making different builds each time. But when you do die and you go back, you carry a currency over that lets you like upgrade your characters. Like upgrade their defenses, or like maybe you start with more money, and you can use money when you're on your runs to like either buy it, like when you run into a store or a trader, or sometimes events will be like you can use money to, do different things. So like, I mean, you get the idea. It's a roguelike. Every time you're running through, it's going to be different, but like you're also slowly building up your strength. One of the neat kind of upgrade paths that this game has that I found kind of fun is you find these, I forget what they're called in game, like rune stones. But imagine gems like in any other game, even like Enshrouded or WoW, where you take gems and you insert them into your armor. You'll find these gems as you're playing, and at the end of the battle or the event, it's like, okay, we're going to use our gems. So they get analyzed or whatever to see like what kind of gems they are, and they'll fit into certain things. So you'll use the gem, and then it pulls up your 5 characters and one of their equipment. So it can be like your main character's sword, or this character's shield, or this character's armor. They have like, I think 3 or 4 different things that these things can slot into. And sometimes there'll be like resonating bonuses, like, ooh, this gem is only blue rarity for most of these characters, but for this character it's like yellow or rare or red. So it's like, imagine like rare, legendary, epic, right?
Yeah.
So if you see that this gem is really resonating with this character, and you give it to them to put into their equipment,
It'll be even better than usual.
Yeah. Because, like, usually if it's just blue, it'll just give you, like, extra stats. Like, oh, your physical attack gone up by 3, or your, physical defense has gone up by 3, whatever. But if it has, like, one of those really good legendary effects, like, it can do, like, skills. Like, whenever you attack with the spear at a distance, it'll heal you a little bit, or whatever. Like, extra effects. So it's fun to, like, as you're going through, you're, like, getting these little gems, and it's like a little treat, like, ooh, am I going to get a good one? And it's going to fit into, like, this character really well. And it's kind of fun because it can take a character that's been kind of, like, lagging behind and be like, oh, suddenly they have this ability that's really good. And you can start, like, planning around using that more.
So you like the gems in this game much more than the gems in Enshrouded.
Yeah. I don't like how the gems work in Enshrouded.
Yeah, they're not super great, and then you have, like, 5 or 10 of, like, the same thing.
Hold that thought. We'll get to Enshrouded later, but...
Did you play another demo that I managed to miss?
No, I just wanted to finish up the thoughts on this game. I've been enjoying it a lot. I mean, I do like Fire Emblem, and this is basically like Fire Emblem roguelike, except more of a... It's less anime, I guess you could say. The art's really good for like the portraits and stuff, but yeah, it's not really... I wouldn't say it's anime, I guess. I don't know about the story. I guess I'd have to play more to see if I can figure out if the story's going to be interesting or not. Like, your character can talk to this raven, I guess, and, like, nobody else can talk to the raven. So that's, like, a thing.
I wish I could talk to birds.
I don't think I think it's, like, a magical raven. But, like, there's some stuff going on that isn't immediately clear. But even if the story ends up being whatever, I think the gameplay is fun enough that I will keep playing it. And I will... After I get to the point where the demo's like, okay, that's all, you're not allowed to play this anymore for whatever reason or whatever it is, I'm going to add it to my wish list and get it at some point, especially if it's on sale. I don't know how much this is right now, but it's good. It's one of those games where, like, again, gameplay has me hooked enough to want to play more, even if the story doesn't go anywhere. The story seems fine so far, but it's not like Chaos Zero Nightmare or whatever. Like, the story in that game is fucking garbage. I don't know, maybe that's me. They had just released an update on this, so like there's new content, new stories and stuff. And there's this big event where like, ooh, there's a new dungeon, or yeah, like a new roguelike mode. Because like when you play the roguelike mode, you have to pick between like one of 5 different planets, and like this planet is swampy themed and there's like swamp monsters. This planet is like, there's robotic angels and like some of the fallen angels, and they're still robots. They have different themes, and they're really cool, right? One's like more eldritch horror and like, ooh, unknowable, weird looking monster things. This one is like a new world, and it's like this like a laboratory planet where they were doing experiments on people, and there's like a bunch of wailing spirits and shit.
Oh, Jesus.
And I like that. It's like, oh, cool. Now there's a new place with new themes, new monsters, new equipment to get. But, like, I had to go through a bunch of story to unlock that dungeon. And I started, reading it, but it got to the point where I could not anymore, and I just hitting the skip button on everything. I could not with this story. I don't know. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I feel like the translation isn't really great, and it's also just like I'm just looking at a bunch of like animated gifs of characters like talking at each other. It's not incredibly engaging. There was one scene where we were like chasing these thieves, and like somebody else came, and this lady had like a robot arm that she had like a sword, and then like the main character for this story, she was like sword fighting, and there was like a little animation for like a second and like a new piece of art, but like other than that, it's just been like the usual looking at PNGs like wiggling and talking to each other. It's not incredibly compelling.
Poor you. And
like I don't know what to expect or like what they could do to make it more interesting. Like ultimately this is a sprite based game with art, but even when you see me playing it, you're like, oh, I like how the sprites animate and everything. Like,
yeah, it seems like they just need to do that a little bit more.
Yeah, like why don't they incorporate these little sprites in the scenes? Maybe that would be more interesting. Like Final Fantasy Tactics, they're working with sprites.
Yeah.
And their cutscenes are always so fucking compelling.
Maybe like, because with sprites you can't make them like giant bazongas covered with tissue paper?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, not all the characters are big booby.
No, I know. But like, for the ones that are, how are you going to put that in sprites when like they take up half of their body mass?
They could still have like the portraits and then have like the sprites in the background interacting, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's just not good. I don't know. Like even Final Fantasy Tactics, they have like, okay, granted their portraits are tiny and in like little boxes, but like you can kind of have both of like a little portrait and then the sprites. So like true. When the sprites are like talking or like teasing each other or fighting or something, there's at least something to look at besides just a picture of a person that like never changes.
I think just as a quick aside for Final Fantasy Tactics, I think the only thing I would change is to have more emotion in the portraits.
Yeah.
Because they just have that one portrait face and then the mouth vaguely moves with the text. And that's all they do.
They didn't draw a lot of different expressions. Like sometimes you'll have a scene where like the character is shown bloodied or something. But you never really see like, oh, this is Ramza's sad face or oh, this is Delita's angry face or whatever. Yeah.
But aside from that, it's good.
I will say that some people don't like the new mouth movements because that wasn't in the original.
Yeah, I saw a mod did stop that.
I don't really mind it. I thought it was fine. Like
it's acceptable. It's not like obviously super attached to the text that's going. Yeah. Like sometimes it goes a little bit further or not far enough to like where the text ends or where their speaking ends, but I'm not going to hold too much on like, oh, this isn't completely synced up correctly or something.
Yeah, the original game didn't have that at all, so I guess it's just something to be like, I don't know, a little extra. But yeah, most of the time I'm just looking at the sprites anyways, especially if something is happening. I mean, I guess it depends. Like, and again, like those scenes, like I know you were just playing through it, and like some of the beginning scenes are really good. Where like Weegraf was like interrogating the dude in Dorder, and like he pulls out his sword, and the other guy like lands on his butt, and he's like scooting away and stuff. Like just stuff like that they could put in this other game. Like the other game has good sprites too. They just don't really do much with them outside of the battles.
Yeah, and as far as like the non-sprite animations that they have, again, those are really good. So like they clearly have the money to put in more attention to detail if they want to.
Yeah, like if you guys want me to care about the story, put a little more effort into like the presentation of the story. Because I just cannot with these like just portraits of characters. Once in a while they bounce up and down, but that's it. Like it's just I cannot. It's just too much. It's so boring. And like I feel like the story could be interesting because like it's like that eldritch horror like shit is happening, and like at one point we're like flying through space and like this big open mouth like just appears, and like I forget what they call it, like the Void Eater or something, and he like gets swallowed up. The ship just gets swallowed up by this giant mouth. So like now we're in this other like dimension shit, and it's just there could be interesting stuff there, but it's just not done in a good way. So the story in that game is like,
it has potential.
Yeah, I've just been skipping the story. It's one of those games. I don't know how many games I've played where the story is so bad where I legit just skip it to get to the gameplay.
Poor you.
But you brought up Enshrouded, so I guess we could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, because we started playing again recently because they finally came out with the update that included all this like physical water stuff that we can eventually play around with. But were you able to figure out how to get that thing to work yet, or no?
There was a thing I built where it's like, oh, this pumps out water and it'll keep pumping until it's flooded. But I think I was putting it in an area that just was not floodable because it was that muddy. You call it the poopy water, but it's like muddy. It's like there's this little canal next to our house and the farm, and it's full of mud.
Well, I call it the poopy because it starts at the pigsty, assuming there were pigs, but there aren't pigs. And it's just all that mud, and it's like it has the texture in mud, and if you like go into it, your boots get caked in mud. But I call it the poopy because like it has different like yellowish, greenish coloring in it. And like what else are you expecting from like an animal farm? Like it's just, you gotta get rid of it because it stinks to high hell.
So apparently for some reason that when the water that comes out of that thing hits that, it doesn't accumulate. So I would probably have to build like a proper stone canal, and I didn't feel like doing that. Anyway, this update brings water, but it also, more importantly, brings out a whole new land or biome. So I think the game started with it. Basically, when the game first came out, it was the forest area, and then you went to like the highlands and the desert.
Well, you also started with the plains.
Yeah. Later on, they added the mountainous snowy area. Now they added this like tropical, almost like, tropical looking area with like palm trees and banana trees.
And of course, there's like tons of water everywhere.
Yeah. And one of the new enemy types is like these lizard dudes, like Lizalfos or lizard men.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, so
it's also interesting because you have the tropical aspects, and the lizard men kind of have like, I don't know, would you call it Aztec kind of design to them? Like even the armor for your character has that like South American flair to it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there's also like bamboo, and there was I don't know if you would count as like tiki or not, but then there's taro as well, so there's like some East Asian stuff mixed in. So it's a nice, it's not like
it's not just Caribbean, it can be also like, I don't know, Malaysian or Philippines, like that kind of like
equator area.
Yeah.
Whereas like something like WoW, it was specifically just this one culture. They didn't mix in other stuff as much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just borrowing stuff, and I've definitely noticed that the armors, definitely have that flair to them. I haven't been able to build anything yet. I think you got one headset or one helmet.
Yeah, and it has like the feathers on it.
So we're still obviously very early on, but that's like the fun part of the like, okay, the water is cool and all, but like for me, it's like, oh man, we have a whole new area to explore, and again, it's totally free.
And the new like furniture stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to mess around with that too much. I already noticed some of it, like we can build like some bamboo furniture, but it's not like super comfortable. So it's like, if it's not comfortable and not increasing my comfort score, I don't really feel the urge to build it because it doesn't really fit with
what we have now. No, it doesn't. But like on the other hand, I wouldn't mind finding a nice area in the bamboo forest and making a little hut there or something.
Yeah. Like some of the areas we've been through, like there was one town we went through that had a bunch of the lizard people, and it felt like a vacation home. Like imagine like if you were going on vacation in the Caribbean or in Costa Rica or something, and it's just like, it's got like this bamboo beach seat and like this little umbrella. It just felt like paradise, I guess. Some people would consider that.
Yeah, and it was funny because there was also a little tiny section. I guess it was supposed to be like an outdoor tiki bar or something. And they had these lounge chairs made of the bamboo, and you could actually just like sleep in the
Yeah.
lounge chairs if you wanted.
Yeah.
So that was kind of funny.
If you're like out at night and you need somewhere to sleep, yeah, that's handy. And even like we ran into like a witch's hut because they're one of the towns. I guess there's two kind of, well, maybe three kind of architecture.
Aesthetics.
Yeah, like the first place we ran into was like a heavy, like a mill town. They were there to chop down trees, and they had like this big water wheel and like all this mechanical stuff, and we had to stop the water from flowing so that we could like pull out the gears from the water wheel. But then there was also like a town that was just made of like cobblestones and stuff, and it still looked very tropical because it was like covered in plants and like these purple flowers, and it's really pretty.
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly lilac, but it kind of looked like that. And I was like, oh my god, I need those.
So that was like another aesthetic, and then yeah, finally we have like the tiki, the more wooden kind of like bamboo aesthetic. So like there's like three different towns and building types in this biome, and you could easily be like, oh, I like this one, I want to live here, because we ran into that town, and one of the quests or one of the notes we found was some guy talking about like this witch that he met, and she was going to help cure him. So we go to the witch's house, and she's not there. I mean, she has like skeletons in her closet, but at first you were like, ooh, maybe I should live here.
Well, I liked it because the outside was the wooden and it was covered in the like lilac flowers and stuff. But then we go inside and then we go into the basement and it's just like super green lights everywhere. And I'm like, I'm not really into this aspect of the witchy stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because like her basement was full of like skeletons and like coffins and shit. So she's like I don't know, maybe she's like a necromancer or something.
Yeah,
But like the main cabin was really pretty.
that was pretty cool.
So I mean, this is basically part of the fun of Enshrouded. Like a lot of people will just build, like, ooh, I like this part, I'm gonna build my house here. But it's also kind of fun to just be like, run into like, this house looks kind of neat, I'm gonna place down a thing here, and I'm going to take over this house and live in it. And you can start like, fixer upper the houses or whatever, and that's kind of fun. We found one that was mostly in okay condition and just started fixing it up. I think most of the holes are patched up. There's, I think, one spot that I haven't bothered to do yet, but it's in the attic and we never go up there anyway, so.
Yeah. There could be more stuff we could put in the attic, but it's like, whatever.
And I've like planted a bunch of trees around the landscape, and maybe I went overboard with the trees.
Actually, that's another thing that they've added. I guess people were not necessarily complaining, but suggesting that they added trees that we can plant now.
Well, there was already trees that you could plant. I think what they changed was you can
Or maybe
force it to
farming?
not grow all the way.
Oh.
Because some people may be like, oh, I like the trees when they're in their third stage, but then they go into the fourth stage and they're too big.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. It's been fun. Just a matter of exploring, finding new gear, new weapons, and the new armor. The blacksmith has not come out with any new armor for like the tank builds yet, but the mage has. So I might like do a dabble.
And the ranger.
Yeah. I think you have like 2 armor sets unlocked.
Yeah.
I have one in the mage tree.
I think the only thing that's going to be a real pain in the ass is leveling up to the max and then going back to that dragon. Or maybe not even necessarily getting to level 45, but just getting up to level 35 in my case. And then we have to go and beat that dragon, so maybe we can get into the Deadly Shroud areas.
Yeah, I don't look forward to that, because I've tried fighting. I even like respec, like, okay, I'm making an anti-dragon spec, and like, it was really hard. Like the rest of the bosses and fights in this game, like, they can be hard, but I don't know, man, that dragon just...
Yeah, I think the big thing is just figuring out the mechanic, and I was at like level 30 instead of 35, so that probably didn't help.
Yeah, so maybe leveling up more, having more HP and stuff, and more defenses will help. But, yeah, it kind of. I was kind of sad to see that, like, that we're just gonna have to get that dragon's head, because it was not a fun fight. I don't know. For now, we can just continue exploring the new areas and avoid the shroud. Eventually, we'll go back and get that, so we can actually go into the shroud and see what's in there as well.
Because, hey, if this new biome has all this new stuff, who knows what kind of like new crazy mushrooms might be in the Deadly Shroud.
Yeah, and some of the recipes are going to definitely call for some shroud ingredients, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But then
Damn
there's also like
dragon.
underwater stuff too, so I haven't really messed around too much with that.
Yeah, because you can obviously swim underwater, but then we got this new metal sieve thing, I guess, so we can swim underwater and we can mine underwater.
But we can't fight underwater.
No, so if there's any enemies nearby, you have to kill them first, if you can.
I don't know if that changes eventually, but I guess
Maybe
we'll
they're
see.
still working on it, because I can imagine that would be kind of like program heavy to figure out, and all the bugs and shit.
I don't really mind the idea of not being able to fight underwater, because in some games like WoW, it's just like, oh, you're underwater, but it's exactly the same as being above water.
Yeah, it looks kind of dumb.
And then some games like Guild Wars, like, oh, well, you can fight underwater, but it's like completely different because you're using underwater weapons, like a harpoon or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what's the best approach. Sometimes it feels like, well, humanity in general is out of their element underwater, so maybe it just makes sense not to be able to fight underwater.
Yeah,
I'm just
I can
okay
accept
with that.
Same.
Monster Hunter had underwater combat in Monster Hunter 3, and we're up to, what, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter Generations, Monster Hunter World, which is like the 5th one, then Monster Hunter Wilds, which is the 6th one, and none of them brought back underwater fighting, so...
Maybe they learned from their mistake.
A lot of people didn't like it. It was really awkward. I think there might be something in Wilds with, like, some quick time events or something, but I haven't played Wilds, so I don't know. But it's clear that, like, sometimes just fighting underwater is just, I don't know, it's tough to tackle that.
Maybe it's more about which environment the game is created around to begin with, because in Subnautica it seemed like, I guess there wasn't necessarily fighting. I guess you could use the knife. But that seemed perfectly fine. But then if you're on land and trying to fight or knife attack, I guess, any of the flying monsters, that's not going to work, because that's not what the game is built around.
Yeah, and like that's sci-fi too, so like you'd think that there would be like guns and lasers or whatever, but that's just not really part of their design philosophy.
Yeah, they didn't want you to just go through the ecosystem of Subnautica and just fucking destroy everything.
Yeah, like technically you can. I've seen people use that stun gun to like stun the Leviathan
And then
slash
slowly.
it. Yeah, and it's like it's not really what you're supposed to do, but you can if you want to.
Death by 1,000 cuts. Yeah.
Most of the time it's just like defensive stuff that you have. So yeah, what else? Any other things we should talk about this week?
I think I'm pretty good, because the things I want to complain about, I'm sure no one wants to hear. So
We did see a couple,
yeah, that's what I didn't want to complain about.
even the Mario.
No, the
Fallout.
Mario was fine, other than Mario being an asshole.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I know a lot of people are talking about the Mario trailer, and it's like,
I think it's kind of cute, because, like, maybe it was because of Bowser specifically and his little, like, I don't know why he's tiny and stuff, but
that happened at the end of the last movie.
sure. And it's cute, and, like, it now even makes more sense that the whole aesthetic is kind of, like, almost plasticky, because now he just looks like a living toy. I think it's kind of cute.
I don't know. I don't really have any interest in watching it. Even after the trailer, I'm like,
I wouldn't mind watching it, but, like, not paying full price for it.
yeah, waiting for when it's hitting a streaming service we were already on anyways.
Yeah, and then I'll watch it. I'll just enjoy it for its dumb fun. Like, I'm not going to be trying to find some hidden meaning shit. I'm just going to shut my brain off, enjoy the visuals, and just have dumb fun.
You know what was interesting? Sort of. The Fallout one. So Fallout also just today released a new trailer for their season 2. And we got to see Hank, or, Agent Cooper. He's like performing experiments and stuff. And
That poor mouse.
one of the interesting things is, I guess, it seems like House is alive in, the New Vegas way.
Yeah.
But the Kings are all ghoulified.
That was funny.
So, like, what
The
happened?
ones we saw were ghoulified, but that doesn't mean all the kings are ghoulified.
True.
It was just funny to see, because, I mean, the kings is like, oh, these guys that look, I don't know, classically handsome or something, but no, all these kings are like the rough skins and ghouls and all fucked up.
Yeah, for those that don't know, the Kings are, in New Vegas, they're a gang and they've set up shop in a Elvis Presley impersonation like school. So they're all like dressed up as Elvis Presley, and they call themselves the Kings, and they talk like him, and they try to act like him. And there's different things you can do with them in the game. You can either go against them, work with them, make deals with them, etc. So it's interesting to see that they're in the game, or rather, they're in the new series or season, but they're ghoulified, which they weren't in the game. So something happened to them. But House is also alive. So like, did he cause something to go bad in Freeside, or did something else, and he's just barely holding on to the strip?
Here's a crazy idea though, because until the end, you don't really see what Mr. House looks like. It's just a computer screen and the voice. Couldn't technically someone just take that over?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that's always a possibility.
True.
New thoughts.
That would make more sense in my opinion. Because like otherwise, if House is alive, that would confirm that the House ending is the canon ending. Because in all the other endings, House dies. So if he is dead and somebody's just pretending to be him to like retain power, that could be interesting too. Or maybe the House ending is just the canonical ending, because it is one of the more interesting endings anyways. Anyways, it's going to be exciting. I'm super excited to see more Fallout. It's like, between that and playing, I'll probably play 76 again once they release that update around the same time, just to see the 2 new lands. That's the fun thing of just waiting. Like, even for Enshrouded, I waited so long to jump back into Enshrouded that, like, even though it does feel like I had to get used to it again a little bit, it was still fresh enough that I got to experience the snowlands and now, like, the new biome within a short period of time. So I'm going to go jump back into Fallout 76 and experience, like, those 2 new biomes because I haven't played in forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's going to be exciting. I will say one last thing about Fallout. Apparently the Fallout 4 update, where they were going to fix a bug,
Broke more things?
They did indeed fix that bug, but there is a bunch of other broken stuff now. So it's like you fix one thing and like a bunch of new bugs pop up.
Yep, that's how it goes.
So it's like,
and that's not even a Bethesda thing. It's literally just how programming goes.
Yeah, it's tough because like the game was in such good condition. They broke it, left it broken for like a year,
and then broke it again.
They're like, we're fixing it, and they did fix that, but like broke a bunch of other shit. And it's just like, ugh. They said this time that they're gonna be coming back with a patch to fix it again. So
hopefully it won't take a year.
Yeah, it's just a mess, man. I don't know. I don't know what they expected, but like
Bethesda, you goofs.
I just wish they would give an easy way to downgrade to like the pre-anniversary edition that was like just working. Let me go back to the version that just works. Anyway, so what a mess.
Yep.
But still gotta love Fallout. Anyway, that's probably enough for now. There's more stuff we could talk about, but yeah, I know probably not gonna talk about that other thing now. Anyway, ignore that.
Ignore it by leaving it in. Anyways, we'll see you next week.
Yep. Take care. Be good.
Love you.
Have fun.
Bye.